This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO. What's up, WFO Universe? Joe Castello, your podcast host. Back with you, and we've got a show for you, kicking off another week. It is December. It is Cyber Monday. We are doing the show, but it won't be Cyber Monday when you hear this. It'll be like Cyber Tuesday, which Cyber Monday is just extending into always now. Everybody knows that. Going to talk a little bit about that. Going to get into our whole what is, what was, what will be for the month of December on WFO Radio. The winter break programming is continuing on. I've got a list of just things, amazing things that we are going to discuss. For instance, NASCAR Champions Week this week in Nashville. They're going to be there. They're going to be in Nashville. It's like a marriage made in heaven. NASCAR Nashville. First of all, they both begin with N. Simple as that. It's meant to be. Lewis Hamilton dominates the final Formula One race, and so racing is now officially, for the most part, right? Over. The 2019 racing season is over. I had a fun weekend. I did some cool stuff. We'll talk about that. I went racing, what I'm talking about. I know everybody does. Cool stuff. The Northeast is being hammered by a blizzard, by a storm. Storms are coming. All of these things going on. I'm going to post some questions like those of you who have home security systems with cameras. I want advice from you. I was thinking of getting the Blink system, and then I decided against it. But maybe you guys can help me with that decision. Giovanni in Miami went to the Guitar Hotel. He's going to give his review. All kinds of good shows, good things going down. It is all happening. I'm trying to pick out some gifts. I can help you all out. Giovanni, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am well.
You're well?
Yeah.
That's great.
Look at this. 3 minutes it takes you to introduce me.
I know.
What's going on here?
I was punishing you for your stance on the Miami Dolphins.
That's all right.
I made you wait to 3 minutes. Now, we were having a spirited discussion about the Miami Dolphins. Sports Collision, of course, will take place. About, they've won 3 games now. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What does it mean? What does it all mean? The number 1 pick is now looking like the number 8 pick. The way it's all, they're going to win another game before the season is over. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Like, you just don't know. And who knows? But we're going to get into all that. Most importantly, it is going to be fun. And we're also going to promote NHRA Nitro. Last week we had a great show. Wasn't that fun? With Sports Radio Vlad in here for Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody had a great
Totally
Thanksgiving.
forgot that Vlad was in here.
Yeah, I totally forgot Thanksgiving. I forgot everything.
I didn't forget Thanksgiving.
I needed that. I don't know about you folks out there. See, everybody but me is very relaxed and just chill and calm and just loving everything. And I need time to disconnect. That's what I need. And so Thanksgiving, that was a wonderful week. I spent some time. I did pressure cleaning around my home. I did projects around my home that I didn't realize I even needed to do. Like, oh, that's broken. When was the last time I looked at that? Oh, let's fix that. My great friend Robert let me borrow this amazing pressure cleaner thing that I pressure cleaned, like everything that I could pressure clean. Like, when you get into a mode, like a mode, like I'm in pressure cleaning mode now, and I'm pressure cleaning anything. Even my neighbor Sandy walked by, and she's like, do my sidewalk. And you know what? I did her sidewalk. I pressured it. Yes, I did. I did it.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Go look at it. Absolutely. It's my neighbor, man. Of course I'm going to do something nice. And she's like, I'll pay you. And I was like, do I need to pay? I was like, no, I'm not going to pay. You're not going to pay. It's okay. It's nothing. It's for nothing. It's nothing at all. No quid pro quo. I'll just hold it over your head in the future. The next time you ask me about cutting a tree or something like that. So we're going to get into all that. It's going to be big fun. And if you're a first-time listener, welcome to you. I was trying to describe this show today to Keith from Total Seal. because we are working on a Total Seal podcast that features engine builders like superstars of engine building, Jason Line, Pat Musey. Those are our first two guests. And we're talking about piston rings, but not really. We're talking about engine building and events that happen inside high-performance racing engines. And Jason, of course, is pro stock eliminator, naturally aspirated. And Pat is nitrous oxide and giant cubic inch. Two totally different arenas. And so we're talking about podcasts and podcasting, and I'm trying to describe this show. And, we talk about NASCAR, we cover NASCAR, but really it's entertaining. So it's just a fun show. It's like, yeah, I like to think that for the listeners. I could see that Fleetry found last week fun because he talked about snuffing somebody. The snuff, something we learned about. I did reach out to Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, a.k.a. Chad Robb. Got no response yet. I admittedly was a little bit late in the going, like literally like 3 hours ago. Like, hey, you want to come on the show? It's like, no, man. Your people got to call my people. So we'll go through the process to get Mr. Fantasy NASCAR on the show. But it's just going to be the G-Man and I here tonight, and all you WFO radio listeners. Did you see the final Formula One race?
I did not watch the whole thing from start to finish. I was able to watch some of it, but as through the holiday weekend, I had company at the house, and so I can't just sit around waking up and putting on the race at 7:30 in the morning and do what I feel like doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what happens when you have company at your house.
Oh, well, that's
like
got to be
people staying over.
Kind of a bummer.
No, it sucks. It's not a bummer. It downright
really?
Sucks.
A strong opinion.
I mean, yeah, it sucks. It sucks having people over at the house, and as much as, you want to hang out with your family and stuff, it's a little bit, gets you out of your normal mode, can't do your things. They're sitting on your couch watching your TV.
Vegging out. Right. I totally get that.
Taking up your space, your private space. I can't just do what I feel like when I please. Like, I can't just beat the dog or something like that,
Well, you don't have a dog, but I get what you're saying. I get it. That's your little metaphor for. I get it. Beat the dog. Never heard that one, but I guess that makes sense. I get it. That's the good and the bad of the holidays. Like, the fam comes, but then it's like, the fam comes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I guess.
What did we do Wednesday? What did I do Wednesday? When did we do the show? We did the show on Wednesday? Monday. That was the last time we gathered together.
A week ago.
And it was a great one. It's in the archive. Before we go too far, I want to thank the sponsors who make it all possible. And listen, I know there's some of you that like to skip over the sponsors, but I wouldn't do it this time because within the sponsor mentions, it takes like a minute and a half, but I'm going to throw in some amazing nuggets of information, updates that you will require after the fact when we go back and do the test afterwards, quiz.
All
right?
Yeah.
First of all, if you've never subscribed to the show, you got to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and hopefully write us a review about how much you like it if you do. And if you don't, then don't write anything. Simple as that. Total Seal piston rings, the leader in ring seal technology. If you have a weird or bizarre combination, they make them custom made, and they're of the highest quality. Thus, the leader in ring seal technology, TotalSeal.com. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. I definitely know there's someone in the WFO radio audience who would love to receive Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School's Dragster Adventure as a gift. And so this is what you need to do right now, is you need to take this podcast near the person that you want to buy the gift for you, okay? And don't tell them that we're having you do this. But you just kind of you might want to pause it and bring it over into the kitchen or wherever the significant other, father, sister, brother, son, grandfather, whoever you would love to have them purchase it for you. And then in about 5 seconds, I will go into a great bit about why they should get it for you. In 4, 3, 2, and so for those of you who are thinking, I really need a great gift for my loved one who happens to be a racing fan, adrenaline junkie, love cars, love going fast and going racing, we have got the most amazing gift idea for you. And it's called the Dragster Adventure. And I know it sounds incredible. It's at frankhawley.com. And you get to actually drive a dragster. And you get to go down the track. You get 3 runs. You're doing burnouts. You're launching the car 130 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. It's totally, it's been vetted. It's amazing. It's a great experience. Go to frankhawley.com to find out more. And what I think is it's the perfect gift for your race fan loved one at Christmas. And for what you get, it is of a great value. So I highly recommend it. And if you happen to be checking out the podcast for the very first time and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is a great gift idea for someone I love, I agree. That's why we're telling all you people out there. So check it out at frankhawley.com, F-R-A-N-K, Frank Hawley, HAWLEY.com, and check out the Dragster Adventure and be sure to tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio Podcast, which, WFO Radio Podcast is a podcast with great gift ideas. And there you go. Do it now.
Great idea.
Thank you. And so if that works, that will be ingenious. Like even if we score one of them. Also, samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Start your education at full speed. I have been thinking about motorsport EFI tuning, like learning EFI tuning. Like I got a laptop. Maybe I need to learn how to EFI tune. I did go racing this past weekend. I was driving. I was racing. I got a whole story. I'll drop it out there a little bit later. I know people like the stories of me actually competing, and then eventually it ended in failure. But it all worked out. The timing was right. The cosmic forces showed me the way, and that was great. Samtech.edu, Blockhead CNC programs, etc. Check them out. Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com, Marvin Rodak. Spoke with Marvin today. Had a conversation with Marvin. I didn't mention it, but he sounded a little under the weather. Holiday packs back for 2019. Pound of coffee, bottle of hot sauce, bottle of spice rub. Give Marvin a call. And I'm already I'm creating a list.
Call him up. Say, hey, Marvin.
I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice.
No way.
Yes, the WFO Radio clients, the sponsors, all the people have been so kind to help us, WFO Radio. As a, corporate sponsor, we hook them up. The guys over at AppBurst, who create our free WFO Radio mobile application. It's free for you. They love the hot sauce over there.
Who do they cost money for?
Yeah, well, for us. Of course.
I see what
MagicDryUS.com. Magic Dry, the official organic absorbent. So, guys, here's what you do. Is the special lady in your life, you're going to want to get her a bag of Magic Dry and see how it goes and report back.
Good luck with that.
See how it goes. Sweetie, I know that we've been together for a few years. This is our 4th Christmas together. I want you to have this wonderful bag of all natural or organic Magic Dry. Right?
I think that'll work.
I think it will. So we got Total Seal, we got Magic Dry, we got Samtech.edu, we got Frank Hawley, we got RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com, plus Drag Racing Edge Magazine, EV3 Drag Racing, big supporters of WFO. See, look at that. Wasn't bad at all. All right, final results. Formula One Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton dominated the race, 16 seconds up on Mad Max. Honestly, I watched it right before the show here. Busy weekend, all kinds of action going on, lots of stuff. Watched the first 2 laps, then watched it on 4, and just looked at the pylon on the left side of the screen to see if the names changed at all. They did not. Lewis Hamilton crushed it. And we're not going to do that to you guys. Every time we end up talking about Lewis Hamilton, it's just like a major suck fest. Like, oh my God, he's so great. Isn't Lewis great, Gio? Yeah, Lewis is great. Yeah, he's so great. How great is he? Oh, he's probably the greatest. Yeah, he's so great. He's so dominant. Yeah, and there's people who don't like him. And oh my gosh, yeah, why don't they like him? He's so great. Oh, Lewis is so great. Oh man, he's going to be the greatest ever. Yeah, Lewis. To paraphrase an entire season of WFO Formula One talk.
4 out of the last 5.
Yes. Oh, man, Lewis, it's amazing how great he is. You can't hate him because he's so great. Yeah, he's really the best driver.
I guess some people could hate him, but...
Well, you can hate the fact that he's whooping your guy. He's whooping our guys. But it's a different attitude. Like, some people hate the guy that whoops their guy. I hate my guy for getting whooped, which is a little different.
And at this point, we could blame our manufacturer. It's not even the driver's fault anymore.
Yeah, we had, I don't know, was it a good year? Was this a good year for Ferrari? I mean, I kind of think it was. It was like an okay year. Didn't we win 3 races in a row at one point?
Would you call it a good year?
Yeah, I think. Would you call it a good year? I think you have to call it a good year.
Yes,
you
okay,
don't call
yes,
it a good
but
year,
it was
you're
disappointing.
Jaded. Well, we did not win the championship.
But not even that. It was disappointing overall. It wasn't a good year. Can it be a good year if it's so disappointing because there was actually hope that they could compete, and they really never did?
Well, this is Yankee fandom style. Ferrari and the Yankee fan and the Ferrari fan are very similar in that if you finish, even if you finish second, you have failed. Failure. There is only one winner, and if you're not it, you're a loser. If you're not first, you're last. And clearly we're not first, which means we're last, and last is not good. Thus, it cannot be a good year. But that having been said, we had more wins this year than we did the previous year. Probably more wins this year than the previous 2 years combined.
Okay, we never won 3 in a row from what I could see here.
We won like 2 out of 4, or 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 5,
twice,
or something. Back-to-back races.
Right, like Mercedes, came out and won the first 5 races.
Right, we were unprepared for the start of the season.
Hamilton, Bottas. And then Vettel won the next 2. And then Bottas won a race. Then Leclerc won in Austria.
Charles Leclerc.
Then Bottas won. Look, we had it was the summer. Or right before. I guess we won Austria at the end of June. And then we won July. Germany at the end of July. No, not even. They won.
So do it this
Singapore.
Way. How many Ferrari wins this year versus how many Ferrari wins last year?
Well, I don't know how many they won last year. It looks like they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races this year. So that's obviously more than last year, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Because I don't recall Kimi won 1 race, right? The last race of the year.
Yes. So, but we'd go back and do it. And I'll stall for you.
I have to look for it.
If you have increased your wins year over year, it's a good thing. Still disappointing that you're so distant behind Lewis Hamilton. But see everything that we just said about Lewis, and he's so great and so amazing, and he's driving the best car, and you're not going to beat him, and nobody's beating him, and everybody's losing to Lewis. And so you got to look at the silver linings, which are this. You've got Charles Leclerc.
They won 4 last year, all Vettel.
See? There it is.
Yeah.
You've got a new driver who's good and getting better. Vettel, while mistake-riddled, found something again, kind of came back a little bit.
No, he did. He closed out stronger, although this last race, he was not.
They just got to dot the I's, cross the T's, and from jump, got to be in championship mode. There's none of this, warming into the season. You got to get max points in the first race because you got to beat Lewis Hamilton, which is really hard to do. The only guy who's been able to do it came from within the team, and he got the call.
I guess what's disappointing to me, even though they closed out a little bit, they had a little bit of a good run after the break it would be.
Yes.
Is that they really didn't compete for the championship.
No.
Mercedes just ran away with it from the very beginning. Especially early on, the best we had was a couple of, podium finishes, thirds.
If memory serves me right, there were a couple of early races that slipped away with technical problems. Charles Leclerc.
That was at Bahrain,
right?
Right. He should have won that race.
And
the car, the turbo or something.
With 3 laps to go or something, right?
Somewhere near the end.
Right.
Right.
So that was the kind of year it was. They win that race. Everything's different. Who knows? But whatever. It's over. We've lost.
Yeah,
it's no big deal. You got to just take it for what it is and get better.
Here, I'll tell you what's even more disappointing. The fact that at the end, they didn't even come in third. And Max Verstappen beat them out.
And on the podium, you mean, or
for the
constructors
in the drivers' championship?
Right.
Max came in third.
Yeah. No,
and so at the end, even these last handful of races, Verstappen and the Red Bull was faster than the Ferrari.
Yeah. Well, as indicated by the podium.
And so in that case, that's kind of what I'm saying I find to be disappointing of the season, even though there's technically we shouldn't be disappointed with a season that they won 7 races, which is more than they had won in many years.
It was just so sporadic and disjointed. I get it. It's disappointing, but you got to pick up the positives and move forward. Now, Haas F1, on the other hand, 14th and 15th, K-Mag and Rogro in the final race, lap down. This was a year to forget for Haas F1 and the Haas F1 report. What can you say? What is the silver lining for Haas? This is the worst season they've ever had. Is that the silver lining? Their other seasons have been so great as a startup team that this is their worst season.
This is their, hey, welcome to the big leagues. It's not going to be so simple. You're not just going to show up and be the best of the rest.
No. They were near the best of the rest.
This is the well, no, they were last year. You can almost argue they were competing for that. And this year they took a giant step backwards. The car just wasn't there, or the tires. They couldn't figure out the tires with the design. I mean, they qualified better than they ran every race, so it was definitely an issue of that. I believe that's what they were saying, that they couldn't figure out the tire design and how to keep them warm and so forth.
Final constructors, though, Mercedes 739 first, Ferrari second, 504, Red Bull, Honda third. So Ferrari second in the constructors, so at least that's not a huge shakeup.
Right.
Did we finish second in the constructors last year or third?
No, I believe second.
I'm grasping at straws here, man. If we moved up a spot in the constructors, that's something. Meanwhile,
no, because last year Red Bull wasn't very good.
Haas F1 ninth out of 10. Behind Alpha, behind Racing Point.
What was the constructors' points this year?
504.
They got 571 last year, so they scored less points.
We scored less points. This is preposterous.
And they were second. Red Bull had 419 last year.
Red Bull's got 417 this year.
So and Mercedes got 655 last year. So
Mercedes 739.
So they're the ones that just clearly came in had a lot more 1-2 finishes.
Gobbled it up, and they're the best. Come on, Cam Hahn, 2021.
And Haas last year, 5th, 93 points. Yeah, way ahead of McLaren.
28 points this year.
Yeah, I'm sure to them that's hugely disappointing.
McLaren, 145 points this year. And that's, there's money attached to all this, too.
Absolutely.
So, well, there you go. It has been a fun year, though. We certainly had a lot of fun with Haas F1 and the Haas F1 report. And, Rich Energy, we learned that they don't exist. That was a fun saga in and of itself. The CEO took over the Twitter handle, started tweeting out craziness. Remember all that? That was exciting. Let's just hope it gets...
Hey, we might have a race next year, too.
Wouldn't that be great?
Imagine that, a race right
What's
down
the
street
status
from
of
here.
that, since we're talking Formula One in Miami?
We don't know.
Yeah, but from what I understand, the city voted no, but the county vetoed the city's vote and said, not so fast. We make the decision, and we have yet to make the decision. Is kind of the way I got the vibe.
Pretty much, the county has, I guess, authority over the situation. And so the city's vote, or whatever the city commissioners, expressed their being against it, isn't really the deciding factor.
To me, this is the no-brainer of Earth. Why is nobody calling me? Hey, Miami Gardens, you will love Formula One. The cars are not loud. It's a wild, amazing party that you're going to love. It's going to bring a lot of money. There's going to be money. And oh, by the way, it's going to be money wrapped in money with a side of money and a shower of money falling from the sky. Stephen Ross is talking about investing more money in your city. Just accept it. What is it going to be, a week? We're talking basically probably a month of preparation behind the scenes, a week of inconvenience, but not really. There's a casino right next door. Think about those people at the Calder over there. Think about that Stadium Hotel.
Yeah.
That poor, sad stadium hotel. That will become the spot. People want to be there. You know where everyone's going to want to stay, right? The Guitar Hotel.
Yeah, those that can afford it.
And you know who can afford that? Formula One people. It'll be sold out. Bernie Ecclestone will be there, even though he's not even involved
sold out for
anymore.
the 2 weeks of the Super Bowl at $3,000 a night.
Is that what it is? $3K a night?
That's what I've heard through the rumor mill, and that it's like a two-night minimum or some 3-night minimums. And
I think I'm going to open a GoFundMe account. GoFundMe. Send Joe to the Guitar Hotel
well, you can't,
for Super Bowl
it's
week.
sold out. That's the whole point. You can't get it.
Ah, well then, never mind. I figured I would get it. I think the audience would pony up the cash to send me to the Guitar Hotel.
They don't want to.
So it is Champions Week, but we might as well talk about that, the Giovanni Review. For those that have been following along, certainly on my Instagram, at WFO Joe, I have been tracking the construction of our Hollywood Seminole Hard Rock Guitar Hotel. It is the world's largest hotel shaped like a guitar. I don't know if there is another one, so maybe it is the only, but it is a pretty sizable place.
Well, technically, isn't the hotel in Vegas shaped like a guitar, too?
No.
I mean, it doesn't go up, but isn't the body of the hotel supposed to be a guitar or something like that, if I don't recall?
That's news to me, if it is true. I know there's a guitar out in front, just like most Hard Rock restaurants.
Oh, maybe that's
but I don't, I never heard that.
Maybe I misinterpreted.
It's just a semicircle to me. But
Could be.
Who knows? But went over there. Giovanni in Miami went over to the Hard Rock Guitar Hotel. We scouted it out last Friday. And now Giovanni will give his review. I will say that I think it's fantastic, having just been in Vegas, went there before Vegas, went to Vegas, went back there after Vegas. I think it's, for someplace that's 7 minutes from my house, it's amazing.
Right, it's a lot more than 7 minutes from your house.
No, it's not. I've done the drive.
All right, it didn't take us 7 minutes to go there each way the other night.
One way?
Yeah.
Like you were timing me?
No, but
right, so how do you know?
All right, never
You
mind.
put it on the stopwatch. I've done it in 7 minutes. Maybe
right.
it's a world record time. Maybe I caught all the lights that day, but I made it in 7 minutes.
Yeah, all right.
Stopwatch did not trip 8 minutes. So what'd you think?
About the hotel? What do you mean what I think? It's $1.5 billion brand new hotel. Of course, it's beautiful. It's great. They clearly spared no expense.
Well, they spared the air exchanger expense.
Well, that's a different story, but I thought it was great. I thought it looked beautiful. It was super packed. It looked like Disney World in there. There's like humans coming out of every direction. The guitar structure is very picturesque. The optics are beautiful. All the lighting, and it's like a 5-star hotel in there is what it is.
Perfect timing for the Super Bowl, which is coming here in the January.
I mean, not perfect timing. Obviously, that was done on purpose.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They raced to make it
yes
for the Super Bowl. That's going to be a crazy scene over there. Like night of, after the game, night before the game. It's going to be chaos. I'm pretty certain that Radio Row, like all that pre-Super Bowl hype stuff.
Okay, according to the phone maps, it's 4.5 miles and 14-minute drive.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I guess somehow you can make it there in half the time.
Yes. Clearly I did. On my own stopwatch, personal stopwatch.
So,
I've done it. 7 minutes. Might have been 7:40.
Yeah.
7:50. But yes.
Or the illusion of 7 minutes.
No, but you're accusing me of
7
lying.
minutes. No, not lying. Just being misunderstanding. No, what is it? Misremembering.
But listen.
Misremembering.
Back in the day, the scientists calculated that a top fuel dragster under the best circumstances could only run a quarter mile in 7 seconds. Now, then they went 4 seconds, right? Like, that thing is obeying all the speed limits. It's not taking you over the limit by 1 mile an hour. It's probably calculating a couple of red lights in there. And on this day that I set the record, which is what it is, a record, not normal, I can tell you I was trying to see how quick I could get from A to B. And it was 7 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. You get green lights, you can get there pretty quick. It's not, 4 miles. There are times where you can go 60 miles an hour down Griffin. Oh, yeah. Catch that light at the end?
It's going to take you.
And I'm not talking about, like, parked. I'm not talking about getting parked. I'm talking about
I get it. You're talking
putting
about
a wheel on the
from
property.
once you get out of your neighborhood and you're on like the main direct street that goes straight to that one, and from that corner to the corner of where the Hard Rock is on, it took you 7 minutes, but it took you 4 minutes to get from your house to that light, and 4 minutes from that light to actually park.
See, that is, what I do that sometimes, but in this case, that is not true. This is property to property, this record. When my wheel touches the driveway, the timer stops.
All right.
And when you pull into that little entrance road where we pulled out of, the timer stops. Property to property is how I do it.
All right.
Now, when I set the record from my house to your house at 28 minutes, I will tell you that it was from your stoplight out there. Property to property, it's like 34 minutes, house to house, which is still an incredible record. Like, that's, it will never be beaten. It won't be beaten because I'm driving at weird times, off hour, no traffic times. I like to find the most efficient way. But anyway, a good time was had by all. The whole championship week in NASCAR in Nashville.
So anyway, the place is great, but you know what?
Oh, you have more now.
Oh, I just remembered. Well, you know what? Since you wanted to.
No, I'm interested. I just felt like you were kind of not into it.
It just occurred to me to derail you and mention more stuff.
You hate NASCAR. As soon as I started talking NASCAR stuff, you were like,
I remember
right.
that what you mentioned to our good friends from the poker show.
Yeah.
That the casino part was just like a cloud of smoke, and you can't even walk through there without choking and wanting to like puke and get stinky. Like that part was terrible. Unlike Vegas, who has the air handlers and the system is just pumping the smoke out and pumping all that oxygen and cold air in. That does walking through the casino, and that's the only part that was extremely uncomfortable, actually, and made me think that they shouldn't allow people to smoke in there. I always thought it was against the law to smoke indoors down here anyway.
When I first went with Vlad, I noticed the smoke. It was pretty... it's all on a scale, right? Like, how bad is the scale? It's definitely not on the Seminole Casino Classic scale where you go in there and it's like you're in smoke. You're like old school airplane, 1970s. You're inside smoke.
There's nowhere that's really that's like that anymore, anywhere, pretty much, because specifically that you're not allowed to smoke indoors almost anywhere.
The classic Seminole, which is right across the way, for those that don't know, like the original Seminole Casino was just like one of those giant shed buildings.
Yeah, it's like a dump right across the street, literally.
But they have like tried to nicen it up in there, and it's actually kind of a lot of the locals go there, a lot of the late night entertainment types. You can imagine what I'm talking about. In the biz, bartenders, ladies of the evening, dancers, that kind of stuff.
Those girls aren't going to that.
Absolutely.
They're going to be seen and trying to pick up those.
No, see, that's the thing. When you get off work, you just want to go have some cheap drinks and unwind, and that's what In the Biz is about. They go to Seminole Classic. There's a scene there at all times, Seminole Classic, and they made it as nice as a shed building can be. It's like the nicest. But you walk in there, and it's like, whoa, smoke. And if we walked through, you come out and you smell like smoke. So compared to that, this isn't bad at all, but it is noticeable. Like, oh, we're in the smoking section now, which is unfortunate.
But compared to that, that's not a normal situation. That is a complete outlier where there's probably no other place in town that is like that. It's not. I mean, barely even going to the Center of the Performing Arts is not even like that anymore. Like, you feel like if it's not even that cloudy or smoking when you go in there.
You mean strip club?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think smoke when I go strip club. Not that I go, but
that's
I never,
one of
I never
the few
had that
places
experience.
that you are allowed to smoke indoors, and even that, I mean, obviously, didn't. The last recollection I have of that didn't seem to be as bad as this was.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I guess maybe it's also compared to how nice everything else is. That the minute you're like, oh wow, how are you?
Well, there's a couple of things going on. Like, number one, the air exchanging mechanisms, whatever they are, if they have 10, they need 20, right? Like, how does that work? I don't know. If they've got 10, they need 20. If they have 20, they need 30. Also, two, when they built the place, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's amazing. But the ceilings, they might be 25 feet high. They should be 40 feet high. They are not as high as certain larger casinos.
As the clientele.
Right. And so the smoke is in there, and it's unfortunate. Now, can you ban smoking in a casino? Ugh. Those gambling types, man, they love to smoke. They love to smoke. They sit there and they smoke. I'm not into smoking.
Look, I'm not going to there to gamble either, so I'm not the person that they're catering to. But I'm definitely not going there to gamble and hang out because it's uncomfortable. It just doesn't.
Right. Well, because you're saying you're in smoking. Yeah, you guys didn't last. We didn't
3
even
minutes. Walk all the way through. We got about halfway, maybe 2/3 at the most, instead of turned back.
Turned back to the mainstream area, which was not smoky. By the gamblers was where the smoke was.
Only in the only in the casino part.
Yeah.
The whole place is not a casino. For those of you that haven't been here, it's very Vegas-like, just like that. You walk in, it's a lobby, it's a hotel, and then they guide you through the labyrinth into the casino.
Yeah, right. And then you're in there. $20 tables was the cheapest that I saw for blackjack, at least. If they had a $10 table, I would jump on some blackjack at some point.
I have no desire to go play on a $2, $5, or $10 table. Man, get it to go there. Play with the $20 table. Put your $200. You play 10 hands. But playing $2 blackjack, all you're doing is prolonging the death.
That's not true.
Yeah, man. Just get out there and play with the big boys. Drop $20 a hand. You play 10 hands, get some winners, and get up and go if you lose. That's it. I'm not there to prolong my $200 into 20 hands.
Into
$102 hands.
Philosophy is a little bit different. Well, why don't you just take the $200 and go put it on one hand? And win or lose, you get out of there.
I also don't want to play just one hand, but I can play 10 hands is a half an hour.
10 hands is not half an hour. 10 hands is like, 10 minutes. Blackjack table, maybe less. 10 hands. When was the last time you played blackjack?
I don't know. I don't have
10
any.
years. There's that 10 number coming back. Get out of here. Give me the lowest minimum entry level, and then I'll bet big if I want. Start to win, I'll bet big. If I start to lose, maybe I need to survive. I'm going to go 20 hands. That's why that, back in the day, sitting down at a $5 blackjack table was the best. You can't find them anywhere now. Certainly not on the strip downtown. You can find them. You can find $2 double deck with Doc, the one-eyed croupier, at wherever that was, Binion's. But that is, I wonder if Doc is still working. Anyway, so that was Friday night. Then on Saturday, went to the Citrus Nationals at Palm Beach International Raceway. Did not bring my personal race car, the 78 Trans Am, because just wasn't ready. There's a lot of associated work that goes into that. And I wasn't ready. My dad wasn't ready. The car wasn't ready. Nobody was ready. There's zero readiness. And so we did not do that. Instead, the plan was to bring his 2005 LS2-powered GTO and race in the no-box eliminator. No delay boxes, foot brake, whatever you want to call it. And had a really awful customer service experience, which made me really sad, but I got over it. There was multiple plans running. First of all, I get a chance to race once a year, is really what it is. I'm now the guy who gets a chance to race once a year, and it's a real bummer because, obviously my resume is strong. Race wins, track championships, but that's not going to happen out of nowhere. First time you show up to the racetrack in a year. It's just not how it goes, typically. Show up at the track. First thing the lady says to me at the gate, I was like, yes, I'd like an entry for no box, which means no delay box, and a crew guy. And she's like, oh, well, you don't have slicks or drag radials, so you can't race. Now, I haven't been to this track in a year, and I've browsed the website a little bit, but I know what's going on. And the person at the gate doesn't know what's going on. She's telling me that I can't spend my money there. No, you can't spend your money here. You can't spend the money here. But no, I want to spend the money. No, you can't. It's like, I think you're wrong. I can have any kind of tires in no box. Well, I'm going to have to call and check. Okay, gets on the radio. Yeah, there's a guy here, and he wants to enter no box, and he's got street tires, and blah, 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 and blah, blah. Oh, okay, oh, yes. Well, it turns out that you can enter. Okay, thank you very much. But what? Time runs are over. I go, what do you mean time runs are over? First round eliminations isn't until 4 o'clock. On the website, it says eliminations at 4, and it says eliminations at 6:30. It is 1 o'clock. So you mean to tell me that you are not going to have a time run for the next, 4 hours? Well, no, eliminations are about to happen right now. So you're not going to get a time run, and you're going to have to go right into eliminations. Oh, okay, which means would have been very challenging in the GTO because I got no timer and I got no idea what it's going to run. The good news is I got a backup plan in my mind, which is my great friend Lee Neal, a.k.a. Fozzie Bear, from South Florida, former track champion many times over, and a great friend of mine, has already offered that I can run his car. And he has been making time runs all morning. So I'll just go in there and whatever. But I was like, okay, so I got a friend in there, and I may run his car, and so can I just get 2 spectators? Yes, you can, but you'd have to park outside. Now, my dad can't walk very far. He's not able to go. He's got COPD, and it would have been, a half-mile walk. Not going to happen to be separated from now. So every question I asked, the answer was no. Like whatever I was trying to do, the answer was no. Whatever I wanted, the answer was no. Okay, can I buy an entry, and if I can't figure it out, come back and, swap it out if I don't get the race? No, you can't do that. We don't give any money back at any point, okay? So finally, after working every possible permutation, I got back to just give me the entry, and I'm going to go out there and run without a time run and lose first round, and I'll be happy to park on the inside. So we pull on in, park the car, I go hand in my tech card and jump in my buddy's car, and it's time for first round. And so I just ask him some questions. All right, like when should I launch this thing? Third yellow coming on. The Christmas tree is yellow, 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 green. Third, bring it up to 1,300 RPMs, couple of dry hops, 1,300 RPMs. See that third yellow, smash the gas. All right, here we go. So first round, I got to go out there and run a 650 car. This is 8th mile racing. We're dialed 850. He's dialed 650. 650 is about a 10-0 car in quarter mile. So I am very outmatched. Everybody's got a fast car, faster than me. This was a nice little Camaro, 2000, or it was, what was it? It was the 35th anniversary Camaro. So 2002 or something. Don't panic. It's not a bomb about to go off.
All right.
It is one of our battery backups needs batteries. And it's sending us a little alert like, hey, replace the batteries in the battery backup. And I have them order on Amazon.com. I took advantage of Cyber Monday.
Wow.
They are on their way. Boy, you got really panicky right there. You thought it was
Not
like
panicky.
24.
What the hell is going on?
You were like Jack Bauer. You went into like a fight or flight mode.
I wouldn't go that far.
And I don't even think the people in the audience can hear the little beeping that's going on under the desk. It's like a little cheep, 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 cheep.
Oh, I think they can hear it.
I don't know.
I think that's all they hear.
That's the thing is I don't know if it makes it. This has happened during some of the NHRA interviews, and I listen back. It's very faint. You got to know what you're listening for. But I digress. So first round, went out there and staged it up, smashed the gas, had a nice 060 reaction time, 066. Going down the track, guy goes red. And I'm a winner. And I won. And so to you, lady, who tried to stop me from racing, ha-ha. What do you think of that? Yes, people do just show up and go right into first round eliminations and win and avoid the buyback.
Wow, way to go.
What you think about that, sucker? Right. And second round, Lee bought back in because he had went red first round. He bought back in. He won second round, came back because we were running the same car. We were double entered, which is something that wasn't common back when I used to race on a regular basis. It's now common. They let you do that, which I'm okay with it. 2 guys running the same car. But it's on you to get back. And later on in the rounds, like let's say we get down to 4 cars, that makes it tough.
It sure seemed like it.
Yeah, but just the same. It takes a lot to do that. So he brings the car back, and now I'm at the very back of the line. And who else is at the very back of the line? Some killers, man. The killers. The guys who are really good.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the band.
The band was here, too, at the, what was that called? Riptide. The Killers were here last week also. And everybody was out on the beach for the Riptide Music Festival.
Yeah, I saw the lineup. Not very good compared to previous years.
I like the Killers, but they really only have like 3 songs that I like. And did you see that crowd? Speaking of massive crowds, I don't want to be in that crowd.
I did not see the crowd, but I definitely don't want to be there either.
Let me tell you, it was just too many humans packed into a small space. So I have to make a decision. Do I go in the left lane, where I have been running, and I will run like one of 2 kids that are, like 22, and this is all they're doing. Bracket racing every weekend. They both got 6-second cars, 8th mile. Or do I get last in line and maybe get a shot at the guy who has got the buy run, who is a much slower car, slower than me, who would then be launching first, have the first chance at red lighting. I would be able to catch him and kind of judge him a little bit better as opposed to just being caught by a car that's way faster than me. So I elected to be last in the line because I had counted back. Turns out there was like a motorcycle racing in there that was parked somewhere not even in the lanes, and I missed him, threw everything off. I have to run the sportsman or the no box track champion. This kid, Johnny Tolosano, who is also quick 16 track champion. Like, if there's a track championship, this kid has won it. So now I got to go up against him. I've had no time runs. I'm in an unfamiliar car making my second run ever.
Johnny,
bring him a body bag, Johnny. Hopefully not in drag racing. Excuse me. So I had to think about it. Like, okay, what do I do here? I was like, man, I don't want a red light. I want to give it a race. So I just did the same thing I did the previous time. I had an 066 the first time. I had an 068 the second time. He goes 021, catches me and beats me, and I lose. And that's that. And I was done. Good news is Dad was getting tired just at that time. We hung out for a little while longer, watched the jet cars, watched Elaine Larson, watched some stuff, drove home. And I made it to Paulie the White Guy's 50th birthday party.
Oh, look at that.
And it was
Very
great.
good.
It was a great time, though. And that's the thing about bracket racing. It's just so much fun. But it's sad to see the lack of understanding by the people who manage the program. Not necessarily like run the race. That's not what I mean. I mean, make the classes, create the race. You need to have a class, a category, where cars off the street race against cars off the street. Because that encourages new racers. Whereas there is nobody sitting up in the grandstands that sees the cars that I was racing against, 640 8th mile cars, and says, let's go get the Honda Accord and go enter this class and try to race. Bracket racing. We always bill bracket racing as something you can do in any kind of car. And yes, that is true. But if you're in a Honda Accord or a bone stock Dodge Charger with all the emissions and computers and all of that stuff, and you enter a race against Fox body Mustangs from 1988 that run 640 with a carburetor, that the guy does that every single week with slicks. You're going to win, 2 out of 10, all things being equal, because you're showing up to a gunfight with a stick. Your car is calculating weather, and it's got a fuel inject. It's doing all kinds of stuff. It's a computer. The other guy's car is a race car. And what they have done, and it's a travesty, it's sad. What they have done is they have legislated out the beginner class, or the lowest investment class, the entry level, where I could just show up in a pickup truck. I could go rent a U-Haul, a 1999 U-Haul pickup truck, and go bracket race it. That's what you want. You want the fans in the stands to see those cars and say, I want to try that. Look at that. That thing's a crappy car. My car's a crappy car. I could beat that car. He can win in that car. Oh, man, I'd go try my crappy car. And let's race. They have gotten rid of that. They've gotten rid of it because they say, and they're wrong, and this is a perfect example of bad management, oh, there's not enough people going to be racing and we won't be able to afford doing it and everything. Entry, by the way, was $75.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of steep.
Well, it is. When I was racing on a regular basis in 1992, 93, like, streetcar stuff, the entry was $22.
We're talking 3.5 times as much.
Right.
Almost 30 years. So.
Yes, it is. But it's how many people have $75 to just gamble on one hit?
Wow.
One hit. What we were talking about, however many hands you get, one hand.
Well, if you got $75, do you play it on one spin of the dice?
One roll of the dice. This is it.
Spin of the
You're either going to win or you're going to lose. If you lose, you get a chance to pay $50 more and go one more time. And if you lose that one, you don't get to play anymore.
All right.
So the economy of the deal, I think that if you lowered that entry fee, more people would want to race, and you'd make more money. But right now, the entry fee is really high. And also, you have to race against cars that you're not really going to have a fighting chance against. You're outgunned. That's why there was always what was called sportsmen. For the most part, street cars. Now, there were always guys in the sportsman category that were pushing the edge of the spirit of the rules. And there are. And there's a guy out there named Larry Doty, the dog, who's a really good racer. He's been doing it for 30 years. He's got the same car. He's got like a 1988 Mercury Cougar that is raced up. It's got a 302. And he runs slow. It's a slow car. But he has done a lot of things to it to make it as consistent as a slow car can be. One of his tricks is he doesn't shut the car off the whole night. It's just constantly running the whole night.
What does that do?
The computer and all the gadgetry doesn't heat cycle. It's hot, it's cold.
Okay.
It's hot, it's cold. It's coming on, it's going through different processes, pulling timing out of it, all that stuff. It just stays hot.
I'll buy that.
Right. And he's pretty good. But he would be way better if he was running up against cars that were of equal stature to his.
Right.
He's going up against race cars. Race cars are inherently more consistent. Look at, Top Dragster. You watch Top, like the faster you go, the more consistent the cars are.
Right.
Look at Pro Stock. We joke about Greg Anderson and these guys, 55, 55, 55, 54. Now, they're not bracket racing, but the faster you are, the more consistent you are because everything is purpose-built to do exactly what it's doing. An 18-second car, even wind is a big hindrance to it. You don't have any power. Big gust of wind, guess what? You're slowing down how much? A lot, and you lose. So anyway, I had a great time. It just made me sad for my local situation because I know it could just be so much better. But nonetheless, I had fun. Lee lost the next round. And what happened, I told him, you better call me and tell me. He went 0-12, 1 over, and got whooped. Guy was 009, dead 7. See you later, Lee. Now, I'd have been pissed. Like, that's like, what? I somehow figure out how to go 0-12, 1 over, and I'm loaded up in the foot brake category in a street car? Yep. See ya. You not good enough. Ugh. And just like everything else, everything has evolved. Everybody in every sport is way better than they used to be. That's just the way everything is. what 20 years of experience. You know, they're all members of Luke Bugacki's This is Bracket Racing Elite. And they sit home and practice. But it was a good time regardless. All right, Cyber Monday. I bought stuff for myself. I didn't buy anything for anybody.
I didn't buy anything.
I bought things
for no one. Not for me, not for anyone, not for anyone.
Well,
Nothing.
nothing. Well, you're not a Cyber Monday guy.
I'm not a anything kind of guy, I guess.
You don't even buy Christmas gifts for your own family, right?
That's not true.
Oh, okay. So you do purchase things. You go to the store and buy stuff for Christmas for your family.
I do know what is money.
You know what is money.
Yes.
I saw The Mandalorian. We'll talk about that.
Well, you saw a Mandalorian.
I saw The Mandalorian.
Well, there's not. You saw
the first
an
episode. Yeah, I saw the first one. I saw what it is.
So you haven't seen the whole movie. You know, you haven't seen them all.
I saw Baby Yoda.
Well, I mean, technically, are you like you could be ruining this for people? Not.
It's out. It's out. Everyone knows there's a little Yoda.
He's not. Well, first of all, he's referred to as the child, I believe.
Oh, I see. You just ruined it for me. You're supposed to say spoiler alert.
Well, there's no name. Like, we haven't heard his name. Even now, 4 episodes in, he doesn't have a name or anything.
Really?
So they just refer, I believe he refers to him, the kid or the child or something. He refers to him like that. Because, at some point, he has to make reference to
and it's 50 years
the
old.
Package.
It's 50
Actually,
years old.
I believe they call him the asset or something.
The asset? The thing that they're going to get, because he's a bounty hunter. He doesn't care about what they are, the humanity of them. He just puts them in carbonite. I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
It was cool. I'd like to see
that
more.
That part was cool, actually, because, like I told you, this takes place, I don't know, I guess
35 years after Jedi.
30 years or 35 years after Jedi. And in Empire, which is what I guess another handful of years prior to that, the whole carbonite technology is an experiment. That's why they experiment on Han, because you don't want to take a chance and ruin Luke.
Right. And becomes industry
now
standard.
It's like industry standard for bounty hunters to bring in their bounty.
I thought that was kind of a cool twist.
No, that wasn't. How about Apollo being the guy who sends out the bounties?
That bugged me a little.
You didn't like Apollo Creed being in it?
Well, no. I mean, I think Carl Weathers deserves to work, and it's selfish of me to get a little funny about seeing him anywhere else. But the dude is Apollo Creed, man. Everywhere he goes, he's Apollo Creed.
For a long time as Apollo Creed.
He was Apollo Creed when he was in Happy Gilmore. He was Apollo Creed in The Mandalorian. He is the master of disaster. He was Apollo Creed.
Georgia was a winner. Baylor.
Is that you or is that me? So that's what you're doing over there. The gambling touts.
No, that was actually my football fantasy score page.
Oh, all right.
Or fantasy football, or however you want to.
Seahawks over the Vikings, 34-30.
Yeah. Well, I was going to check the score. I mean,
he was Apollo Creed in Predator. Remember him in Predator?
Yeah. Oh, he technically didn't play the Apollo Creed role.
But he was still Apollo. Every time I see him, he's Apollo Creed. Yeah, that's it.
Look,
the King of Sting.
That. Yes. The
master and he was cool.
Disaster.
He was around in Predator for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was neat. I'm happy he's working. It was good. And
it was a little longer than 10 minutes.
I'm excited to watch more. Right now, I'm having a phase. I'm watching a lot of shows, man. I got a lot of shows going. I got shows. Now you've got me going Mandalorian. All right. Disney Plus. I'm down for that. A lot of friends, a lot of people. I'm connecting with a lot of people, Gio, about Galaxy's Edge.
Lowe's there. I saw pictures online.
Oh, really?
The whole family in Disneyland.
The California one.
Yes, obviously.
I have spoken to people about the Florida one, and the report is this. One person says, not enough for a full day. The other person says, enough for a full day. Because it's at Hollywood Studios, so there's Toy Stories there. But supposedly, they are about to open a second ride.
Yes.
That the first ride is already open, which is the Millennium Falcon, but there's going to be a second ride, which I don't know what it is. And that once the second ride is open, that's what's going to take you all day, because you're going to be in line for the Millennium Falcon for a while, and then you're going to be in line for the second one for a while. I like the idea. I mean, I'm down. So I got Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I've got Man in the High Castle, which nobody else is watching.
Yeah, I'm not watching
that. It's amazing. It's great.
I'm sure it is.
You could not handle the show.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't handle it.
No,
It's
you
gonna
could not
break
handle
me,
it. It's
right,
too
yeah.
slow for you.
Oh, exactly, right.
You
I
don't.
can't deal with
The all-direction drive will just kick on, and you will start doing fidget spinner.
All right.
But it is great. It is, it's multi-dimensional. And in another dimension, the Nazis won. Except now they're trying to get here through the event. There's a lot of dimensional stuff going on in all the television shows right now. Like Watchmen is also a multi-dimensional show.
Saw the movie, don't watch the series.
What was up with the movie? Was it good? Was it bad? Did it suck? Did you get interested? Do you remember anything about it?
Yeah, I remember some.
Was there a giant squid?
No giant squid.
Okay.
I don't recall a giant squid.
Mm.
No, not at all.
The show is really good. I think it's going to win awards, and it's very artful, but action-packed and super scary and intense. So I got those three going now. I'm going to do The Mandalorian.
Yep.
Only 3 episodes to go. Man in High Castle going to be over. So
over permanently?
Over permanently. This is it. Season 4.
That'll do it.
And it's done. So I'm kind of waiting for my parents to catch up, and I recommend it, but it is slow. It's a slow show. It's there's just not a lot going on until it's going on. And then you're like, oh, my God.
and
then nothing happens for a while again. And then they build it up, and it's a grinder. It just grinds you down into oblivion. And then there's a payoff. There's a payoff. Watchmen, all kinds of stuff going on. Just scary future world. It's easy to create a future world that scares the crap out of you.
Right.
This is it. And it's all about racism, for the most part. It's basically a future world where, white supremacy and non-white supremacy are in equal conflict, which is, hope that don't happen. And then, of course, there's the Mandalorian, which is, bounty hunters are now a thing. At least we don't have to worry about that right now. The bounty hunters we're worried about is dog. I went and got an MRI today.
Ah.
Did I reveal on the show that I had a panic moment at the MRI? I don't think I did.
I'm not sure you did.
What are you doing?
Working on stuff.
That one almost slipped out. What stuff? You typing a letter? Are you making a form letter?
I'm typing a letter? Just fixing something I saw that wasn't, to form to specs.
All right. That's good.
That's it.
That's good. You look like you're putting a lot of concentration into it. I could see it on your face.
Well, I don't want to, my fat fingers and mistyping. I do that kind of stuff sometimes,
So a couple of weeks back, I think I revealed to the audience that I got put in an MRI machine, and I felt for the first time claustrophobia. I didn't really ever experience that, and I experienced
I don't think
that.
you did, actually.
I don't know. For the first time I experienced claustrophobia, I probably didn't want to reveal it on the show because that would be I was having trouble coming to grips with it. Oh, my gosh, they stuck me in this thing, and I wanted to get out of there and not feel comfortable. But since that time, I have figured out why. And it was because I was, it was early in the morning. I wasn't, breathing clearly, and I felt, constricted. They put this thing around your lungs, and I just had to get out of there. So today I went back. But this one was an open MRI.
So let me get this straight. You've been trying to figure out why it was you couldn't handle the inside of the MRI? Who cares, man? What's the point? Can't do it. That's it. Just don't do it.
I think this is a perfect example.
Why do you need to figure out why you can't do it?
Because I have to
you
conquer...
got to do it or you don't do
it.
There's no figuring out why.
Sure there is figuring out why, so I can improve myself, so I can overcome that obstacle that has come in my way. There's something that is surprisingly a challenge, and I have to analyze it personally and conquer it. It must be conquered. I've thought about going, because, there's closed MRI, which is the one that I really did not like. And then there was the one I went to today, which was open MRI, which is still not fun, sitting for 45 minutes while this machine is 1 inch above your face going click, 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 click. It's it was really
I got to tell you, I
aggravating.
had an MRI on a knee once, but in the 90s, and I don't recall it being like that. I remember they only shoved up to my waist.
That makes sense that, your knee, you would stick it down to like the bullseye point.
Again, mind you, this was at least 20 years ago, maybe more.
Right.
Could be 25 years ago. And so I'm sure,
years ago.
No, it definitely wasn't 35 years ago. It was in the 90s.
How old were you?
I had graduated high school.
Okay,
and
you're a high school graduate.
Yeah, so it was definitely, maybe, right around the time I started dating Mrs. Gio, I would say, right around those areas, in the mid-90s.
But listen, my dad had
And so
told me.
all I'm saying is that I don't know that maybe the technology has changed or anything. And again, you went for a whole different purpose, like they were doing like your whole thing.
Abdomen. Yeah.
Right.
Abdomen.
Checking
my
so
liver.
I don't know that if you're going to go get like if a ball player gets an MRI on his ankle or his foot, I don't know if they're going to put him in the same machine that they're putting you in.
Or maybe they just stick the foot into the middle of it. I don't know. Like there's got to be a target spot, like the bullseye spot that does the beam, and that's where it's got to go. And when they do your abdomen, your whole
body. Is that kind of like the X-ray machine where everybody hides and gets the hell out because they don't want to catch the radiation from having to deal with it?
They ask you, have you ever worked with metal in your life? Yes, I have worked with metal. Have you ever had any metal get in your eye? No, I have not. Have you ever had any metal get in your skin? Oh, look, why are you asking me this? Because this is a giant magnet, and the magnet is going to rip that metal out of your body if you have any metal.
Wow.
And it's going to be very
How cool
painful.
Is that?
Not cool. It's uncool. Fortunately, I did not. So the first time
Logan can't go in the machine.
No. Those claws will come right out.
Wolverine is screwed.
Rip them right out. So the first time I go in there, I thought, you know what? I'm going to get this thing out of the way. 9:30 in the morning. I'm just going to go. I'm going to get it done. My dad had once told me, yeah, MRI, Joe, it's really no joke, man. It's tough. It's very uncomfortable. But I was like, okay, uncomfortable. Yeah, all right. What does that mean? I'm going to handle it. No problem, right? Okay. So I go in there, and I'm not awake. I'm not fully awake. I've got all kinds of, you know how you are in the morning. I don't know about you guys out there in the world, but I'm not like fully operational until 11:30, right? Like breathing, like
damn, dude.
Yeah,
must be nice.
That has nothing to do with must be nice. I also stay fully operational till about 2 in the morning.
Okay,
my operational hours are just very different than most people.
No,
comes
I'm
from
not
working
saying that.
overnight.
It's just that,
no, you're trying to make me like
no, I'm not
lazy,
saying that.
sleeping in.
Not at all.
Must be
by
nice.
11:30, I've been up for 5 hours. And so when I first wake up, it takes me about 15, 20 minutes to get all the crap out of my nose and clear my sinuses and sort of wake up. But
I don't breathe clearly for a long time. I did not do my sinus cleanse. I did not do anything. I just went over there, and I couldn't breathe. And then they put this thing around my chest, and then they stick me in this thing, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't get out. And the lady put this headphone on me, and she's like, put it on crooked and wrong, which was a very big part of it. And she's like, oh, yeah, we're going to put on music and just, press this if you need me to get you out of there. And I had to get out. Like, I got to get out. So I go down the hall. I talked myself into it. I got all fired up. The lady's going to come in. She's going to hold my hand. The whole thing's good. I was like, all right, I'm ready to go in there. Here we go. And I go in there, and like 1 second later, I got to get out. There's no chance I'm staying in here for 45 minutes. It was like, it wasn't even claustrophobia as much as it was, there's no way this is going to get done. There's no way. And if I spend 2 minutes in here, it's 2 more minutes than I should have been in here, because on minute 3, I'm going to be getting out. So today I went to the open MRI. So it's like 2 big hockey pucks, giant hockey pucks. And one is hovering like 1.5 feet above the other. And they stick you in there. And I had to sit there for 45 minutes while this thing went click, 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 click. And it was uncomfortable, but I made it.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I survived. And I got my disc. And I know what my liver looks like. That guy was like, your liver looked good, man. It was cool.
And you tell them that's because I'm not a drunk.
Well, yeah, maybe that's why I'm not a drunk. It's because I got good liver. That's why I'm able to process all the alcohol and never get any drunk. Here's what I wanted to know, though, and hopefully you folks out there can help me on this. The Blink camera system. It's an Amazon product, so I know Gio's going to be against it right from jump. Right from jump. Gio's against.
I am not.
I'm a little
against
Amazon. I get what you're saying. I'm a little bit against it.
Like the guy is from Miami, right down the street from my house. He went to Palmetto.
Yes.
It's not that I hate him. I'm just against Amazon owning the world.
I'm against anybody owning the world. No one person should own the world. But they were having a Cyber Monday sale. And the XT2 system you get 3 cameras, you get the thing to operate the deal, whatever. It's like $180. You can watch on the app. It's got unlimited recording. All these little clips. You can check in the 3 cameras on your phone. Like I would have one here in the studio for when I'm out of town, so I could check in with you and the poker guys. And I can talk to you through the speaker, too. Like, what are you guys doing in there? Put one by the front door, one by the side door. I will be golden. So I thought it was a great idea. And then I went on and read the reviews. And everyone was torching this thing on the reviews. That the clips are not long enough. Like a gang of people pull up in your driveway and it senses the motion. And then they all get out and then runs out and you don't see who they are. It says that the range is terrible. It says that the reviews, the 1-star reviews, which come right up at the top, of course, just torched this thing.
Wow.
And so I immediately, I'm not getting this. I can't get something that's got these negative reviews. Going to put up a system and go through all that BS. I travel a lot. I am Platinum Pro. I would love to be able to see what's going on at my home while I'm away. I think that would be actually very beneficial. What is a good thing to get? Joe at WFOradio.com. In the subject, security cameras. Or whatever, something reasonably affordable. Thank you very much. I can't do, thousands of dollars to set up. My alarm system company called me and they offered me a deal. We'll put a couple cameras in your house and everything's going to cost you $1,500.
Yeah, but those guys are always the most expensive. Those type of places, like the big brand name security company.
So you have the Ring doorbell.
Yes, I do.
You love it, but you told me something about it the other day that was a disqualifier.
What is that?
It doesn't work as a doorbell. It notifies your phone. But in the house, it doesn't go ding-dong.
There's no actual bell in the house, no.
Right. To me, that's I don't want to say it's worthless, but I have a doorbell. It's already in place. I'm not going to remove the doorbell that's here in the house that notifies the people in the house that there's someone at the door in
I don't
lieu
know,
of
maybe
something.
Since you have an actual doorbell, maybe when it connects to the bell.
Maybe I could plug in one of the wires to that thing. There's
right,
I
would assume so.
Maybe.
Right? Maybe. I don't know, but I never had a doorbell before.
Right.
People would just have to physically knock on the door.
With the Lion's Head door knocker.
No, there's no door knocker at all.
I had a door knocker with Lion's Head when I was a kid. So there's got to be something out there with all this internet stuff that everybody uses.
Well, there's stuff. I think you just go to the big box store and get one of those for a couple $100. You'll get a system with X amount of cameras and a hard drive.
Right.
And you set it up and it comes
That's what
with
I want.
stuff.
I want a personal recommendation from someone that I can blame if it's bad.
Well, that's what I think you should do. You should go to
Best Buy,
one of those.
Costco,
and check out those systems that they have there.
It's got to be Wi-Fi. That's
They
the thing
all
about these
are.
Blink ones is they're Wi-Fi. There's no wires. You just run. It comes with its own. You put batteries in it. It's seems really simple. That's what I need.
I think that something
Not
like
running
that's battery operated. I think you need them to be at least hardwired to electrical so that you don't have to worry about batteries and stuff like that.
Well, the Blink one, the batteries last for 2 years.
All right.
But I get what you're saying. But now all of a sudden, an electrician is now involved now. Oh, okay. Well, that just became a lot more expensive.
If you want to do things right, it's going to cost you something. You're not going to get, a great security system for $150.
Well, that's the thing is this Blink system was $184. I was going to get 3
I know,
cameras.
and they're okay. They're not great. I'm pretty much sure that for $200, you're not going to get something that's great.
I'm not going to be Mrs. Mia Wallace here. I don't want to be tracking people on my cameras.
No, I could get you that for a couple grand. For $2,000, you could probably get in here and the whole place wired with
cameras everywhere.
A dozen. I don't know, but a good
Welcome.
8 to 12 cameras and so forth.
What's your buddy?
Yeah, Felix the cat.
Yeah, but the system that when we went to the fight, and he had 10 cameras around his house, and he kept bringing them up on the TV. I would love that, but I want to be able to check it from a remote location, from a mobile application. I want to be able to go onto my phone.
Where did we go watch the fight?
The Conor McGregor. I think it was at your boss's house.
Why is he in quote my boss?
Air quotes, boss.
That's funny.
Friend.
You guys should have seen Joe here, air quoting the boss.
Your boss. I don't want to say people's names that are not, part of the WFO circle.
No, I understand
But
what
I
you're
remember
saying.
flipping through the channels and thinking, wow, that's cool. I would love to be able to see my backyard from the TV. But more importantly, I want to be able to check in on you and the poker guys while I'm not here. And the Blink one, you can talk through it. That's what's cool.
But we couldn't talk to you anyway when we were doing the show.
No, I could just be barking things at you guys.
Well, technically,
what are you
couldn't,
doing?
because you'd be ruining the show if you were doing
Go to break.
So, yeah.
Subscribe to Poker Action Line. You get my point, though. It'd be nice to check in on my stuff.
I get it, but and I'm telling you,
Someone
that I think
out
you're
there-
going to have to do it for more than $200. I think the cheapest route you could go is probably about a nickel. For something decent, 4 to 6 cameras, you can't just put junk like for.
Well, I don't want junk.
Right, but
that's
$200 is not going to get you anything. The Ring doorbell itself is $200.
Well, that's
one
why
camera.
this Blink system seems so great.
Right,
It's
and
got a
what
bunch of
have you
one-star
learned
reviews.
in life about things that seem so good to be true?
Well,
that's right. They got a
it
whole
was
bunch of one-star
but
reviews.
Cyber Monday, there were some people who liked it, but I want to be able to see. It also only does clips. It senses the motion.
Oh, yeah, no. You see, even the Ring is like a 30-second clip. Once something triggers the motion, it'll ring. It tapes for 30 seconds. Records.
Can you watch live right now?
Right now,
can you check your doorbell and watch live and just see what's going on at your door right now?
Yes, right now.
See, that's what I want.
There's a live feature right here.
Right.
Front
Apparently, the
door.
Blink does not have a live feature. It's just clips.
Even
I want
now,
to be able to
look right there
cycle
live
through.
right now.
That's live.
You see dark. 4 seconds ago.
But that's nice. Look, your front door. There you are. You're looking at your porch. That's great. That's what I want. I want to be able to check.
Here, you want to see? Look here. Go live.
Go live.
And
this
there.
is a live stream.
Live stream of what's happening at Gio's house.
Just to add to it, like right now we're in the studio. The sound of Gio's front door.
That's it.
But that's great, and you can hear, and you can talk to people right now. Can you just go, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, if I wanted to, you see there's a green button, I'll push it and I'll put, hey, jerk off, get away from my door.
See, but that company Ring has multiple things now.
They have cameras and stuff like that also that you could do. I mean, look, I think it works.
Well, I'm
pretty good
crowdsourcing.
We didn't have a doorbell, and so we wanted it for that also, for the purpose of. I mean, generally we have the phones with us, so when
right, well, you do have
somebody
your phone.
pushes it.
And
it's great when somebody's not home and all that.
Even me being in here in the studio, people come to the door, right?
Yes.
And I got to go to the door. I hear the doorbell. I got to go. It would be so nice to just be able to like punch something up and go, oh, I don't need to go to the door.
Go, hey, stupid.
Yeah. Easily. So there it is. So, hey, Joe at WFORadio.com. Send me your thoughts and reviews on home security. Not even security. It's not an alarm. I just want to be able to look at these basic things that I told you. I want a couple of cameras. I want to be able to look at them from a remote location. And I would definitely like to be able to communicate through, at very least, the front door. Hey, stupid.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going to make me get that?
Oh,
you're making me get that now.
I can find.
No. It's a race. I'll beat you.
Do you think so?
I do.
Nah.
It's close.
He's a very handsome young man.
Oh.
You can't see that.
No solamente es Hank Goldberg, también es un hipopótamo.
Hates him like poison.
Oh, I don't know if...
I don't think it's on there.
Yeah, I don't think it's on there. Oh,
Hey, asshole.
that's not it. Oh, I got it.
Hey, stupid! Hey, stupid!
I win.
Hey, stupid!
Hey.
Hey, stupid!
And for those that don't know, if you're a new listener, Neil Rogers' show, where I first started doing...
Where you met Gio, actually.
Where we met Gio, like the radio mentor, right? One of Talker's Radio's Heavy 100 for many years. Talk Radio Hall of Famer, Neil Rogers. You can look up a lot of his stuff on YouTube. One of his things was working the sound effects into the discussion at all times. And more important, that's where I learned that. And monitoring all the other hosts on the radio station, one of which was Hank Goldberg, the Hammer from ESPN, Hammer and Hank, who for many years did picks.
Hey, stupid!
And came to my wedding, incidentally.
That's right.
Came to my wedding. A lot of great things.
Hanging out with the Hammer in
pulling
Vegas.
these great clips. And
Hi, this is Sonny Fox. I listen to Neil Rogers because I can hear the word asshole.
right. And remember, it was a different era and time, and words that were appropriate then are no longer appropriate now. But so some of his listeners, Neil has long since passed away, but his listeners have created an online soundboard so that we, those of us who, ever need to go back and find sound effects, can find them. And that is one of them. And so Gio and I just had a race, and he lost. There you go.
To be fair, I was looking through an app, and it's not on the app soundboard.
Bye.
There you go.
Yeah, so you might wonder, where does some of these things come from? For instance.
All right.
Jim Mad Dog Mandich.
That's right.
Perfect Miami Dolphin.
All right.
Everybody's dead. What's going on with that? Everybody's dead.
We're getting old.
Why is everybody dying? Why is everybody dying?
I'm dying over here.
What's going on? That was one of my favorites. That was my dad's favorite Neil drop.
I'm dying over here.
A lot of masturbation went on.
Oh, yeah. And those dolphins?
A stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
The stench of cow manure hovers over the performance by the Dolphins, Gio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
This is very,
You turd.
You turd.
Florida's pot's not good. It's great.
I started watching the Irishman.
Okay. In segment, in how many segments?
I saw the first segment. I got an hour through.
Okay.
Before Mrs. Gio fell asleep, and so I told her that I would not continue to watch the rest of the 2 hours.
Is it as
into the
great
wee
as
hours
everybody
of the night.
says?
Okay, like I said, I've seen an hour. There, it moves a little slow, but I understand that they're character building. So I think, I don't know, depending on what. No, obviously, I'm not going to be able to get home and power through the last 2.5 hours tonight.
No, not tonight.
No, especially since it's almost midnight now.
Yeah.
But it's it's so far.
What is it?
It's a mob movie.
It's a mob. Are they actually Irish? Because everybody's in it is Italian. The guy who made it is Italian. You got Scorsese. You got De Niro.
Yeah, but
you
De
got
Niro
Joe
always
Pesci.
plays the Irish guy, just like he does in other movies. That's why he's never a made man in
Goodfellas.
in movies, right? Like in Goodfellas or like
Jimmy
in
Conway.
Casino.
Yeah, he
He's
Rothstein.
Ace, right?
I'm a fat Jew.
And so therefore, he's they have De Niro's is I believe he's the Irish guy. He's Frank.
So he's the Irishman.
Yes.
All right.
And yes, Al Pacino is Hoffa.
Oh.
It's
So
it's
a
the story of Hoffa.
Oh, I don't know that.
Essentially.
I know nothing.
Yeah, it's essentially the story of Hoffa.
Interesting. Well, I'm excited. Did you say
it's loosely based on the book of supposedly of what happened to Hoffa.
Okay, so who's in it? You got Bobby De Niro, and who else?
You've got De Niro, Pesci, and Al Pacino.
You fairy.
Let's see who else.
You fairy.
Yes.
No, I don't have the movie up. I gotta find out the stuff. I wasn't here to give you a.
You idiot.
How do we get on this?
De Niro, Pacino, Pesci, Bobby Cannavale, Ray Romano, Anna Paquin is in it. I didn't even realize.
It's a Marty Scorsese movie. What is this? Some sort of a joke? We're going to make a movie called The Irishman played by a bunch of Italians. That's fine. Godfather was on Thanksgiving night. Godfather 1 and 2. I got stuck. Lo, have you watched it for the 5th time yet? Lo? Come on, Lo.
No, but I know Lo is watching Mandalorian also.
Yes.
I mean, if he's over there, Star Wars, he's got kids. He's like
Disney
me.
Plus.
He's got the 3-year. He signed up. He prepaid the 3 years. Like
back up the
like
truck.
I did.
Cut the cord. Get Disney Plus. That's it. That's all you watch. Meanwhile, I'm watching Godfather.
Papa Jenko, look what we got.
Oh, and that's actually Neil. That's Neil's actual voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they did a whole bunch of CGI on these guys, so they look young. in the movie. Yeah, well, that's why I think it cost like $150 million to make. I mean, the story, I know that, I don't know the full story. I know that Scorsese had a deal with Paramount or one of the big studios. And then once the movie started getting, like, he started talking into it was going to be really expensive, and they had told him, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. And then once he showed up and the budget was going to be, like, over $100 million because of all the CGI and all the stuff, they backed off. And then Netflix said, oh, don't worry about it. Come over here. We'll give you whatever you want.
Yeah, the regular studio said
No.
And Netflix said yes.
Well, they originally had a deal, but once the budget started coming through, and they were willing to go up to $100 million, and then Scorsese blew that away. He ended up spending $150. So I mean, that's 50% over budget if you got a $100 million budget.
So they didn't just say yes; they said
yes. That's right.
Wow.
See?
All right. Interesting. Well, I'm excited about it, and everybody says Jason Logan. He said you definitely The Irishman is amazing. Got to watch it. Me, I like the mob movies. I like the classics. I like Godfather 1 and 2. Must see at least 100 times before you can truly understand. And that's why, you got to get on it. You got to be watching it again and again and again and again and again so you can understand.
You turd.
Oops. See, a lot of that is inappropriate stuff for modern era
I don't know
entertainment. Well, yeah, you. You know which one I think was mine? Which one that I think is what?
Go tell me.
I think this one is one that I called the radio station to demand that they pull this out of the thing. I think it was this.
Were you fudge packing?
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember there were a couple of times that I called the hotline, and because the sports shows were on at a different time. Right, the Neil show was midday. There was a sports show before, and there was a couple sports shows afterwards.
There was the first team from 6 to 10
in the morning.
Then Neil did 10 to 2.
The first team is where Gio had to square up against Joe Rose, and
yes, it was.
tell him what was up, and that did.
I just wasn't going to be taken advantage of I wasn't going to be mocked by the big athlete guy.
Right, exactly. You
That's
might
it.
beat me up, but you'll remember me.
I told him.
Pissed off gets me fired up when I hear someone say that.
Ah, that's great.
That's one of the best ones.
See, I wonder, do people give a rat's butt about these kind of stories? But working in the radio industry, like that right there, play that one again.
Pissed off gets me fired up when I hear someone say that.
Man, that was ingenious. Neil had just come to the station.
That's right.
See, in 1996, which is a long time ago, is where I got my first radio job at 560 QAM in Miami. I got it because of my great friend Team Corso, met me at the drag strip, knew that I wanted to get in radio, got me a job as a board op. And that's a sports radio station. But like literally a couple of months into the deal, the biggest, most highly paid, most well-known king of South Florida radio gets hired by the station, comes to the station, and I am assigned and selected in many ways to be his board operator. Now, he had his own producer. His name was George, and George and I got along because I was not a sports nerd. I liked sports, but I wasn't a sports nerd. I was more of a well-rounded type of person. You know the type of person I am. I'm this type of person, and this type of person is not a nerd to anything. I'm just interested in many different things. Anyway, so they selected me to be on the show. So when the guy comes on, the guy was irreverent. He was aggressive with the callers. He would get in battles with the callers. He would have some things that are not
You fairy.
that could offend some people. So,
oh my God, your breasts are beautiful.
So what happens is the regular audience, the sports fan audience,
Well, all right, sports fans.
reacted negatively. And so one day we're going through voicemails that were left on the program director, Duff Lindsay's Bluff's voicemail. And one guy, the guy you just heard, comes on.
Pissed off gets me fired up when I hear someone say that.
The message, that's the only thing that survived out of the call. The message, the fact that Neil had used the words pissed off. Oh, here it is.
Oh!
No, here it is.
Pissed off gets me fired up when I hear someone say that.
I just located it.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been playing it now for a minute.
But I just didn't see where it was. The guy got so upset because Neil uses the word pissed off. which I don't use the word pissed off all the time. I get it. But he was saying, I'm riding around with my kids, and this
with my
guy
kid driving him to school.
And this guy says, pissed off, and various things. It's different things. And this guy called the station and said, when I hear pissed off
gets me fired up when I hear someone say that.
And the clip, it got clipped.
Yeah.
And
exactly
it
right.
was all over the radio. The guy became famous in 10 seconds. And it was hysterical. And even to this day, I still hear it, and it makes me laugh and think about all of those things.
Eisner?
Genius. Angry Mickey Mouse.
There's no fact in the church.
Oh, you can't do that. That's over the line.
Oh, okay.
Over the line. See, that's like nihilism. Another angry caller, though. That guy was an angry caller. He was an angry caller.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is Neil
But
was
that's
not
the
in.
thing. He used to get people riled up.
He used to get people riled up.
I mean, really upset sometimes too.
Viciously angry. And that guy was very, very angry. But by the way, like, think about, you know, what the subject matter on that given day was, that there's this is in the late 90s now. There's bad stuff happening in the Catholic Church. That was the topic. Stuff that is regrettable, which turned out 10 years later to have all been true. And proven in countless.
It was always true.
Well, no,
What
I
do you
know,
mean?
but that was the point, and that was the
generally was. You know, this guy was the exception
no
of people being in denial.
In the 90s, people did not accept that as true. I would say that, yeah, that's the thing, is hindsight's 20/20. That guy represented 95% of the population. Everything was okay. There was nothing bad going on. How could it possibly? It's the church. And it turned out that there was bad stuff going on. And there's a bunch. Anyway, this Neil Rogers Rewind has been brought to you by whoever made us say, hey, stupid, before.
Hey, stupid! Hey, stupid!
There it is. All right, what else you got? Got anything else? I got everybody. I got my thing in. People are going to tell me about the Blink camera system. They were going to give me a free Alexa. I don't know. You got one now, though.
I don't have Alexa.
You got the same thing. You got Apple listening in on you. You got the ghost of Steve Jobs listening in.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Gio bought that speaker thing.
Which is really great. It jams out.
It's really loud. I was shocked at how loud it is, actually.
Puts out a lot of bass.
All right, I wasn't shocked. I was surprised at how, the sound. I mean, it's not big. It's relatively small.
Yeah, it's like the size of a coconut.
No, it's bigger than that.
Watermelon?
It almost looks like a helmet, like the size of one of those race helmets up there, is what I would say.
Smaller than that. But
I
it's
think
really
it's
neat.
not
But
as round,
are you
but
concerned?
that's how tall it is.
So you're not concerned that they're listening and recording all your conversations, certainly your keywords?
I don't hang out in the kitchen where she put it. So.
It can hear you.
Anyway, at this point, no. The day I'm going to commit a crime like kill the wife or somebody inside the house,
don't even say
I'll
stuff
make sure
like
I
that.
go unplug the speaker.
Oh, my gosh. Makes me uncomfortable that you even said that. Let's flag that.
I'm not flagging anything. I'm not afraid of saying that.
Oh, you should
It's
be.
not a problem unless I actually kill her.
Oh, my gosh. But see, that's not really the problem. If she were to happen to be struck by lightning tomorrow, you would be the number one suspect.
No, because
yes.
I know that's an act of God, and I don't have that kind of
Well,
power.
you know what?
I wish I had that power. You know how many people I would have killed off by now?
And if anything questionable were to
At
happen.
this point, if something questionable
Well.
happens to my wife in the next 24 hours, I might feel guilty that that I had those thoughts and maybe let it to happen. But
Well, right.
No.
The cosmic forces. That's another thing.
I'll
don't
make
like
sure
that.
I have
I'm
an
very
alibi if I'm
superstitious.
the day I take her out.
That is terrible. Where was this one 10 minutes ago?
I hate the Irish.
That
There
would
you
have been
go.
that would have been a good one. All right. I'm pretty much done. You got anything else? You just killed the show with that scary stuff.
I don't know why that.
I
would
don't
involve
like the
killing
idea of
show.
killing anybody. I don't like that. I'm against that.
Like I said, believe
Talk
me,
of
I'm going to have a
killing
great
anybody.
alibi.
I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want anybody to kill me. I don't want anyone to be killed. I want everybody to live, positive stuff. Like, my brain doesn't go to dark places like that. That's too scary.
I generally do no harm, but I'm prepared at any moment.
For what? To kill somebody?
For whatever it is.
Die.
Yeah, don't you pack heat? I pack
Die.
heat. We're all packing down here. So what are you packing that for? Aren't you prepared to theoretically kill somebody at any moment?
That's not how I view it.
All right.
All of a sudden, I'm Mr. Death.
There you go, Kevorkian.
Yeah, I don't view it that way. I view
Grim
self-defense. If
it is self-defense. That's right. But
that's all as far as I go. If it gets crazy, then that's fine. It gets crazy, and I'll do what I have to do to survive. But that's as far as I think about it. I don't like to think like, man, I'm ready to kill somebody at any moment. That's just not
the
the
door
way.
unlocked. I'm waiting for somebody to just walk inside the house.
Yes, exactly. You go up and confront somebody and then stand your ground against them.
No, that I don't do, but I'll leave the door unlocked.
No. That is welcome. You can get on your smart two-way camera, and then the door is locked, and you lock them in.
I'll have, like
You
the
lock them in.
NBC guy. I'll have them locked in the
Matt
office.
Lauer switch.
There you go, the Matt
right?
Lauer.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Click.
So,
And-
ladies,
yes.
it's time to get down and dirty with
So-
Gio. You all thought you could get out.
I have this thing I want to show you. Please come closer.
Come to the office with the self-locking mechanism. By the way, it turns out that that's not supposedly true.
Well, that's what Paulie the White Guy says, that none of that is true. Well, actually, no, that's not true. The system is there. Apparently, a lot of executives with big offices have that system because there are times they're having meetings that they don't want anyone to enter and they need to lock their executive door, which makes actually a lot of sense. And every single time you're going to go walking across your large office to lock your door to make sure your secretary or someone doesn't come in. No, you just flip a switch and it locks.
I've been to many
it makes
offices
perfect
where there's
sense.
a buzzer at the door. You have to let the person in.
Well, I mean, it makes perfect sense that there would be that system would exist in high-level executives if you think about
But
it.
this
Paulie the
guy
White
was
Guy
not a
got-
high-level executive.
He was higher than a high-level executive. He's the highest-level talent.
Not that high. If he,
Yeah,
he
no,
couldn't
he was-
survive the purge.
Yeah, nobody could survive the purge. The highest-level guy, what was the guy's name? Not Epstein. He's dead. The other one. Not Rothstein.
No,
He's
man.
from Godfather. Weinstein. Right.
Fat boy.
Yes. He's as big a wheel as it gets.
Yes, but that
And he's
guy
not
is
surviving it either.
Yeah, no, that guy was considerably higher up the food chain than Matt Lauer.
Oh, yeah. Matt Lauer was big. He was as
Yeah,
big
but
as it
he would
got
have
at
to be-
NBC.
he
He
would
was
have
like
to
the
have been-
star
wait,
at NBC.
I'll give you the perfect example. He would have had to have been less Moon V's.
Yeah.
Who, by the way,
Got popped for the same stuff.
Right.
They
But
all got it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Weinstein is executive of a studio. Lauer's just,
A
like
talent.
one of the highest talent at NBC News. I wouldn't even call him the highest talent at NBC, like the big.
No, he was on the Today Show.
Right. Well,
It was
still part of,
mainstream.
like,
It wasn't news.
isn't that part of NBC News, the Today Show?
Yeah,
it's
but
not
it's,
part of, like, the entertainment.
No, it is morning entertainment.
But
yeah.
it's not like
morning
the Cosby
show.
it was a Cosby show.
Geez.
I mean,
Oh,
look,
boy. Everyone.
what a Freudian slip,
like
right?
5 in a row now.
No,
What's
that
happening?
That one was not a Freudian slip, but
Huh. I believe those morning shows are considered entertainment. Yes, they do have news.
okay, I thought
and he
no,
came
but
out
I
of the
just
news
figured that
department.
was part of like the NBC News,
Just
wing,
like morning radio
not
is
part
like-
of like
it's
the
informative,
the
but-
Frasier show or whatever. I can't even think of a. Okay, I know the show that Gabrielle Union just got fired from, some singing talent show.
I don't know.
Whatever. I know there's a talent show on NBC because there's one on every network. But you know, Gabby Union,
Yes.
Dwayne Wade's wife.
Yes, I know
well,
about
she's
her.
been in the news lately because she got fired from the talent show, and apparently because she's difficult to work with.
Oh, really?
Well, she was complaining about stuff that was going on behind the scenes. So,
Oh, I know the talent show. America's Got Talent.
yeah, you see?
The talent show. You fool.
Well, there's one like almost on every hour, not even just
You
every
idiot.
network.
Right. Well, I remember Dwayne Wade was on a couple episodes.
Okay, well, I don't. The last talent show I remember was the American Idol one.
There was a bunch. They're all a bunch of ripoffs, obviously. They came up with a whole bunch. Anyway, all right. I am I am good. I feel like we have put 110% of our talent out there. We have tried to entertain the audience. Yes, it is NASCAR Championship Week. There will be speeches. Kyle Busch will be, he is champ. I don't know what to say about that. The guy earned it. He's the champ. That's it.
Kyle Busch earned it. He won the last race. He shuts Gio up.
One other thing that it's what can we say, right? What can we say? The Truck Series racers that were trying to manipulate the outcome, etc. And NASCAR has banned several of them for indefinitely.
Yeah.
We came across that story, obviously, and saw it between last week and this week, and my assessment is like, whatever. They were trying to do, a bunch of racers got racy, and they tried to do some stuff to put themselves in position. NASCAR is definitely against that, and NASCAR had the evidence to catch them, which is what caught them.
Yes, and this is happening like for first, second, or third place, by the way. It happened way like in the back of the field.
But
like
it's for the points.
20-something.
For the points.
Right, for the non-charter team to finish higher and get some more points or be able to get more money or whatever it is, yes.
Right. Now, there can be a debate about whether or not they should be allowed to do that within their own team. Wasn't it within their own team?
I think it was multiple teams, though.
Okay.
Is what it is. And at that point, it becomes...
Well, that makes it's a very important point. If it's within one team... I don't know, man. It's like, Ferrari, Formula One has been down this road. That's all I'm saying is that Formula One has been down the road. And ultimately, at the end of the multiple equals, if I and Gio, we own our two cars, and we decide that it's better for our team together for Gio to finish behind me, isn't that all right? And how are you really going to know? And the answer is they got caught. They should have been better at it.
That's it. I mean, because really, in the end, who cares who comes in 25th or 27th or 23rd?
Well, it's because of the non-charter team
money.
And
money. Yes,
someone was getting screwed.
Someone was getting screwed, I guess. I'm sure whoever was losing out for a few $100,000 or whatever the amount was probably not happy.
Was not happy.
They found out about it.
Right. But that happens.
Yeah, of course, those things happen.
But they got pinched.
I mean, we've seen it now. Even think of. I don't know. We could at some point with one guy owning 4 cars, we might see something like that where one of his cars is racing for the championship and one of his cars is not. What do? You pull over and let the guy go by, right?
Well,
and stuff like that.
If you don't, you're
an idiot.
If you don't, you're an idiot. And that's what all of this. In the end, it's a money-making venture in a business, and no business person would do something that's going to cost themselves $1 million. Like, you are going to do something and it's going to cost you $1 million, or you do something else and you make the $1 million. What are you going to do? If anybody does that in business, people would say that they're an idiot. But in this, people say, oh, you should do it for your own integrity. It's like, I don't know. Put you in that situation, you might... come up.
So yeah, well, we don't want anybody, cheating the outcome. I mean, it is what it is. The guys in the back of the field.
They're doing it for the money.
That's the American fucking way.
That lady was furious. Another angry voicemail. I remember being there for that one when they got that one. And another really poignant quote.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
That one is like my favorite of all time.
That might be the best thing that Tammy Faye ever said.
My favorite of all time.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
And it is still true to this day. And let's end it right there. So for those of you that were slightly, moderately offended by some of the stuff that maybe we played here, because, there was an occasional word that was occasionally slightly edgy for 1998 standards. Hey, sorry. But we have this great soundboard that Jesus just brought up.
Jesus Christ.
We just brought it up. I don't know why I said that.
Or you could just think of what Eddie Murphy told Taggart when he called him foul mouth.
Which was what? Don't do that.
I'm going to believe the rich art dealer Victor Maitland and some foul-mouthed jerk from out of town.
Right.
Foul-mouthed?
About 30, man.
Yeah, I got you.
What, can you hear me through the walls? Yes.
Oh, man.
Is this the man who wrecked the buffet at the Harrow Club this morning?
All right, everybody, this has been an interesting show. This is, what is this? This is off-season programming, winter break programming. I think this was a great one. We went down the memory lane. We talked about stuff. You guys are giving me a review on security systems. We talked about our great sponsors who hopefully still love us. We gave a review of the Hard Rock Hotel. We talked Formula One and how great Lewis Hamilton is. All of these things. I went racing. It was fun. Just like that. All right, everybody. NHRA Nitro guests Robert Height, Allison Dahl, and Andrew Hines, plus Alan Reinhart. And that will be it for this week. It's going to be great. I want to thank you very much for listening to WFO Radio, and that's it. We'll see you next time.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Well, I think it's huge.
It is so hard.